A man getting bit by an alligator and he screams.
Okay, quiet. Hey, quiet.
Sit out towards me.
Ow! No, not an owl. A real scream of pain.
I'm like, what the fuck is going on with everything?
Right.
That's just kind of like my entire life at this point. Like, what the fuck is going on with everything?
You can't kill a simple Mexican drug lord without the whole world falling apart.
I know.
It's just crazy.
I know. It's ridiculous. But look, I don't know. I'd be upset too. If I were part of that I don't know.
Right.
Wouldn't you be upset if like your cartel leader was murdered?
I just figured it's the next guy up, right? I mean, it feels like
it's all part of the game, baby.
I know that this is not like, I'm sure that they're terrible human beings, and obviously they're but I like the idea that this guy was so beloved because he was just like running a really, like, he paid his people well and everyone had good health insurance, and like,
what if they did though? Like, what if they did? Right. What if this guy was like, look, I know that we're in the business of like destroying people and all this stuff, but look, the benefit package that you'll get for coming on board.
He's like sponsoring like Narcotics Anonymous for his clients, and like, look, we want you to take the drugs, just not all of the drugs. Like
maybe, right.
Look, we don't make any money when you're dead.
It's probably not NA. It's probably like a harm reduction model.
Right. A leveling out of like, look, these are recreational drugs. You only use them occasionally.
Let's focus on the word recreational, not habitual, chronic.
We know they're highly addictive, but what we can do is
but what we can do is we can offer a good life insurance package for the ones you leave behind.
Right. Yeah, an organization that like takes responsibility for the deaths of its clients. I'm like, look, you don't even need to sue us. What we'll do is that if your relative dies by taking, you can prove that he's taking our product,
our smack,
we'll pay out, 20% of what he spent on, or what they spent on drugs.
Look, I would think that'd be a really good marketing ploy. Like, if you're trying to get people
to take your drugs
on your product, I would think that'd be a good ploy. Right.
Well,
look, why doesn't Marlowe do that?
Yeah, exactly. Or like,
I keep smoking.
DraftKings, or any one of these.
Jesus Christ.
But like, okay, so let's just say, I don't know but you have to imagine that the profit margin is ridiculously high.
Crazy.
Right?
Crazy
So
high.
let's say that we don't need to become, we don't need to have tigers and big, huge, we make sure that we protect ourselves. We have enough security.
Who are we, those magicians? I forget their names.
Right.
Siegfried and Roy.
And so we also then, I know that this lends itself to, cyber attacks and things like that, but if you could keep a insulated record, of what your people spent, just give them some sort of like
methodology. Give them a membership card.
Right. Yes.
It's like Costco.
Right. And each time that they buy smack, they check in, and then you put that into a fund.
Like an escrow?
Right. That gains interest. And, so you take out your profits, right? Of course, you take out a healthy profit, but not a ridiculous profit.
This is capitalism after all.
Right. You still make your 10 to 15%. You take the rest of it, you put it in an escrow account, and then at that escrow account, if that person ever dies, and he has to die, they have to die because of drug use. It has to be proven it's drug use.
Now, does it have to be a direct link?
No. It could be okay. Like your body deteriorates or something along those lines.
Okay.
all we need is a doctor's note that says that this person passed because of long-term drug use.
Yeah.
And then we'll pay out 50% of what they put into that account. And again, that's going to be a 50% or 30% of what they spent during the entirety of their drug use.
This all makes sense to me. I think this is a really good business plan. I think if we could find some angel investors, we might want to take our own advice and just follow this up.
I think we'd make pretty good drug lords. I'm going to be honest with you.
Because we care.
Right.
We care about the people.
We care. That's why we'd be so good at it. Is because we care.
Right. Drug lords with conscience.
Yeah, and you don't need to set it up like New Jack City, where you take over. What was the building called? I can't remember now.
I forget, but it was a big building.
But they took over. Oh, it's right there. But they took over that building downtown New York.
Have you watched New Jack City recently?
I don't know. I usually watch it once a month or something like that. just out of force of habit.
It's not very good.
Rockabye, baby. No, it's a terrible movie.
It's really bad.
It's like a really rated R kind of like ridiculous Batman movie, and it's like a weird homage in the worst way to Scarface. But that being said, I think it's called The Carter. We take over the Carter,
so,
right?
Yes. Yeah.
So I knew it would get to me eventually. So we could have a Carter, but it could also be like a holistic place where you could take drugs and then we could separate it out and also have a rehab center as well. So if you wanted
because we could make money from the rehab center too. Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this is good. Would we take insurance at the rehab center?
No, we would have our own insurance company. We would make.
We're getting into there's where the real money is. It's ridiculous that the health insurance companies here in this country are not about getting people healthy. They're just about making money.
Right.
They're their own economy. It's so back. Just ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's just as bad as drug dealers.
And we sat. You sat. If you watched the Super Bowl, there was one ad about eat normal food. And it was also a very fat shaming ad. It was a Mike Tyson ad. He was I wanted to kill myself when I was 345 pounds. And then he bites an apple and now he's all good. And it's just this eat food govern
.gov.
Oh
yeah, I heard. I did not watch this.
And then the rest of it was just every other ad was gambling
Ozempic?
or Ozempic or fast food or processed food. And again, whatever. It's funny that the one pseudo positive ad was based on one fat shaming and class shaming
and apples
and using Mike Tyson, who did he rape somebody? Didn't he rape somebody? He was convicted of rape.
I'm pretty sure he raped somebody.
He, I guess, served his time. But maybe we don't make him out to be this redemptive figure. He's fine. He can go and fight Jake Paul. I don't care. Whatever he needs to do. He wants to ruin his legacy that way.
What the fuck? Yeah.
Let's maybe choose better heroes. They're out there for sure, right?
This you do raise an interesting question of, did he serve his time? We're not very good about that in this country of saying, okay, you served your punishment now. Well, okay, Mike Tyson's maybe not the best example because he is back in the public face and making money. But in general, once somebody spends time in jail, you're fucked.
You're fucked
it
forever.
Doesn't matter. Yeah. You're just fucked. So there is no. You could have been a model prisoner. You could do everything right when you get out. It doesn't matter. You're still fucked.
Yeah. You're not getting gainful employment. Right. Yeah. Unless you. Yeah.
Oh my
unless
God.
You're a professional boxer, and you can get fight chumps and then bite Holyfield's ear off.
Here's It's all he did was fight chumps.
Right.
That's all he did.
Yeah.
And when he came up against someone who could actually box, right? Not that Buster Douglas was the best boxer, but he could fight, right?
Buster Douglas could fight, but also I will say, look, I'm not going to denigrate Tyson's early career. I do think he fought a lot of chumps, but he fought some people, and he was just
Larry Holmes.
Yeah, I guess Larry Holmes was on the downside, but I mean, one had Gus D'Amato not passed and kept in his life and
Sure.
Look, I don't think he had great technique. He was never the greatest boxer, but the guy had ridiculous power.
Oh, no. Okay. So I'm not trying to shit on Tyson at all. No, because I think he captured growing up watching him fight, right? There was nothing like it.
Right.
One, the dude was scary as
Yeah,
fuck,
yeah.
right? And fast, right? And could just, knock, the punching power there, right? But I do think, yes, with D'Amato, but also with Teddy Atlas as his trainer, I mean, that's what kept him going. When Atlas had the falling out with him too.
Right.
I mean, that was it.
And that's when you have $300 million in your bank, and you can't hear nothing from it. You can't hear anything from anybody.
Except Don King,
Right.
Telling you, fuck it, like whatever, kid, you're the greatest. Right. So yeah,
it's just like what happened to Tommy Morrison in Rocky V. I mean, it's the exact same thing. I don't think was that his real name? Tommy Morrison was his actual real name.
But I think his name was Tommy something in the
it was
movie,
Tommy.
wasn't
It was
it?
Tommy Gunn something. Yeah, but
real inventive.
But I was more talking about after the fact. But yes, I mean, so after he went to jail and came out and fought again, I am 100% positive that he went into that Holyfield fight, knowing that if he was getting his ass beat, he was going to do something to cheat and get himself to qualify. Because because Holyfield at that point was on the downside of his career as well. I mean, like
not the first fight, right?
No, but I think he knew he would get. It just seemed so calculated because it seemed like, and this is adding a lot to like Tyson's psyche, but I think he knew how long he would get punished for, and by the time that he came back in. By the time he came back, Holyfield would be ready to retire and he could fight somebody else, right?
Yeah.
Holyfield, talk about a guy who could act, really good fight. That guy was ridiculously good when he was coming up.
He was right. And he was just as scary looking as, when he had that flat top before he went bald. Yeah. And then we got to Lennox Lewis. Okay, this is not a show about boxing, although you wouldn't know that by the first 10 minutes of it. This is a show apparently about movies. So, welcome back, Screamers, to another episode of Balls, baby. Balls. We're talking Robert Altman's Shaggy PI movie, The Long Goodbye, with Elliot Gould doing his version of Chandler's Philip Marlowe. And also today, I think we have some thoughts on Roger Avery's bullshit. So Jason, is there anything else that you need to get off your chest other than like your love for Mike Tyson?
I'm a big, never mind, I'm not going to say it.
Yeah, I was going to say careful.
Let's just say, goodbye to Bud Cort, to Catherine O'Hara, to Robert Duvall,
and to
Carradine today, Bobby Carradine. And it's been and there was somebody, Jesse Jackson as well. But in the movie world, we lost some heavy hitters. And I think, particularly Bud Cort we sleep on because he had the accident, his career got kind of derailed, but man, I know we talked about him in Brewster McCloud, but he's such a fucking icon.
Yeah.
That and for me, I grew up with him being next to those kind of quirky roles, and he was always the voice of Edgar in Electric Dreams for me. That was was like my one that's when I really loved. And then of course, Harold and Maude is obviously, I think, his shining moment, but man,
one shining moment.
yes. And then of course, it's Duvall. It's funny because you haven't Catherine O'Hara seems so much more tragic because she was just recently in the limelight, right, with Schitt's Creek, and she'd always been just kind of around doing things. And I went back and watched
Beetlejuice.
No, to me, yes, she's great in those roles. She's great in Home Alone. She's great in Beetlejuice. But I just figure she just shines in her SCTV type roles, right?
Yeah.
She's so funny. She's so quick. And so I was just, I was watching Best in Show and A Mighty Wind and of course Waiting for Guffman. Those kind of Christopher Guest films, and she's just so brilliant. Guest is so talented, of course, but she's so brilliant in all of those roles and so different in all of them. Being kind of a slutty dog handler,
right?
with a promiscuous past is so funny in Best in Show. So it seemed, but my point being is that Duvall hadn't acted in a while, so it was one of those things. I think, and he's 90, whatever.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where like, oh, if you had to ask me if Robert Duvall was dead or alive, I
would have to think about it.
I have to think about it, right? But I mean, like, yeah, that sucks, and it sucks for Carradine as well. I liked him. I thought he was a fun actor.
Yeah, I mean, someone who got really, kind of pigeonholed is just Lewis, right?
And he never did time for his rape, so he did not rape anybody. It was just in the film.
No, but that's the thing, right? Like that film, when it was, when it was of its time, nobody talked about that. But you go back and watch that now, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, no, it was funny. Like it was like, well, I mean, like, okay, so let's leave the rape out of it, which is what actually happened. Now, the fact is that they whitewash it all away, right? Because she falls in love with him.
Yeah.
And she's okay with I don't know what they're trying to say about her.
I know.
And they end up getting married in the sequels and things like that. So it's like, whatever. But like, also, the nerds plant cameras. And then not only watch girls completely, they're basically stalking them. Then they sell those pictures of those girls to win the
Again, two wrongs don't make a right.
to win the nerd the frat decathlon.
Yeah, and I don't want to stick up for Animal and those guys, but and whoever like the
Booger.
Blonde.
No. You're
like,
talking about the Alpha Betas?
Yeah. But Jesus Christ.
Right. At least they were just shitty, right? I mean, but they would.
Yeah. Look, bullying is bad. I just want to say that, right? Bullying is bad.
Yeah. I mean, but you look at that, like that. Take a look at Animal House, and like the dean's daughter is 12 or 13. That
right? No, right.
I mean, it's not like none of these films are.
No. And again, I know we're looking at these through like 2026 eyes, but
what's the same thing like with American Pie though? Like even that movie with Shannon Elizabeth's character Nadia, they film her having they broadcast her having sex to the entire school,
right?
And that's all just written off as a joke as well.
Ha 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 ha.
And so. It's not surprising that we treated our young starlets poorly.
Well, no, I won't say this. I'll tell you later, but I'm not going to. Because I don't think there's any way I can explain it. That it would be anyway.
So yeah, R.I.P. to some heavy hitters and to some legends. Do we want to talk the Avery shit first? We're going to talk long goodbye first.
Let's talk the Avery shit first, so that we can like
get it out of our system.
Yeah. So this is. Here's kind of a headline, right? Oscar-winning Pulp Fiction co-writer Roger Avery has launched a Texas-based AI production company, General Cinema Dynamics, partnering with massive AI studios to develop 3 AI-driven feature films. Now, I want to read you this quote. I go out there and try to get stuff made, and it's almost impossible. And then I built a technology company over the last year, basically making AI movies, and all of a sudden, boom, like that money gets thrown at it. All of a sudden, just by attaching the word AI and the fact that it's a technology-based company, all of a sudden investors came in and we're in production on 3 films now. I'll have another quote later, but I wanted to start with that because I think there's a lot of stuff
Well,
here.
it's disingenuous. I mean, like it's bullshit, right?
Yes.
It's one like let's not. If your films were any, I'm not going to say. Look, I was going to say if your films are any good, but that's not necessarily true, right? We've seen this 100 times, but like,
sure.
But if you, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what like if you can't get your movie made without AI. And you can now, and you're getting money thrown at it because you have AI, your movie still is a piece of shit.
Right.
And now it's going to look like a piece of shit and carry the stigma of being a piece of shit. And like, we're not to the point, even if you have tons of money, you're not to the point where they can make this look believable. They can make this, like, you can still see every commercial that's being put out there that's AI looks like shit. You know that it's AI. Every short film that Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise shit, I mean, it all looks flat, watered out. It's all, and it's garbage.
Right.
That being said, even if it wasn't, like, what are you fucking doing?
Right.
Like, I don't understand, like, if you, especially from someone like Avery, who apparently should have stories to tell, should have the ability to make films, not necessarily, I'm saying from a cash flow perspective, but from an ability, from an artistic perspective. Yeah. Like, why are you relinquishing that all to computers.
Yeah.
That is just going to make it generic, and also, you know, stand on the shoulders of everything that's come before it and bastardize it.
Yeah.
I don't understand, like, and I don't understand why you would be so, like, this. You knew someone was going to do it, but if you look at, like, the films even that, like, Amazon is putting out, which are just bullshit, like, you know, the fucking War of the Worlds, and the most recent, you know, Chris Pratt piece of shit, Mercy.
Did you watch that?
I did.
I have not watched.
You don't need to.
Okay,
I
good.
watched it
Okay.
because I thought, well, I wanted to watch something stupid and bad. So, like,
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
I intentionally, like, I know this is going to suck.
I
but
wanted to watch it as an exercise of, like, okay, what are they saying here about, what are they trying to say about AI here, right? But then I was just like, I can't really sit through that. I don't want to.
Yeah, it's just another. It's weird because it's another. Like, I don't know if you want to equate Pratt and Cube in terms of star power. I'd say they have equal name recognition.
I mean,
right. I mean, like, it's just them staring at you, saying shit, and then you bounce from computer screen to computer screen.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
I mean, like, at least Mercy's a little bit, like, there's a little bit more of a story there.
Yeah.
It's a better movie than War of the Worlds, because War of the Worlds is just fucking garbage. I mean, like, it's not. There's nothing redeemable about it.
It also sounds like Mercy's cribbing a little bit from Minority Report.
Oh no, it absolutely 100%
okay.
is. Like, that's the thing, is, like, it's weird that Amazon is just taking Spielberg's filmography and then turning it into propaganda vehicles, right? I mean, it's like, oh, constant surveillance is A-okay with us, and then AI is benevolent and really just wants to get to the truth and the heart of the matter.
Is that like the message of this film?
100%. Well,
fuck that.
So it's this idea of, like, AI is now the judge, jury, and executioner, essentially, right? And that Pratt can, like, reason with it, and it's just and the AI has a crisis of it is fucking ridiculous. I mean, like, if you get to the core of, like, and you really want to peel back it being sinister, it's pretty diabolical. How it's not even subversive. It's just blatant propaganda.
Computer overlords are okay.
And, like, you know, and, like, look, Pratt and Cube are the perfect people for those roles because they have no fucking conscience. They have no soul.
There's no shame left in those guys, right?
They worked to a point where they got to where they were, and then they didn't give a shit what kind of project they did after that.
Well, okay, but this ties in with Avery. Like, what you just said ties in with Avery, or how I feel about Avery. I'm like, okay, so you've done some really interesting things, right? In your past, and now you're just gonna trade all of that in on this shit. Also, how much money do you need to make a film?
Right.
Like, I mean, like,
right.
Seriously.
I mean, how hard are they still doing it? It's not like, I mean, like, there's auteurs that are still putting together films, right?
Yeah. I mean, so, like,
and you're telling me that Avery can't
raise $10 million
or
20
or get fucking Stoltz and like all these people to work for nothing, like,
right?
You know,
right. I mean, how much did Killing Zoe cost?
Right.
I mean, whatever.
Right. Sure.
I mean, like,
right.
It can't have cost a shit ton of money.
And what I mean, like, what are you going to be doing with these films? Like, what?
Well, I can tell you, one is a faith-based film.
Oh, well, good.
One is a holiday film, and one is a war epic.
So he's just fucking making bullshit. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, like, and that, okay, so one, fuck you, fuck you. You don't need, like, you don't need AI to make a faith-based film. They'll throw fucking money at that.
I know. I was gonna say, like, really, and you're gonna tell me, like, there's no money for a war film.
Or a holiday film. There's 8 fucking million of those things every goddamn season.
Right. You're gonna tell me Netflix wouldn't throw you
Roger Avery? You know, just the name alone. So go fuck yourself.
Yeah, no, it's bullshit. Can I read you another quote?
Yeah.
Because I want to get to this too. So many people are against AI. Yeah, no shit. But all it is visual effects. And I have experience, like with that Beowulf movie, doing it. And what used to be $1 million a minute is now $5,000 a minute to do it really, really well. It looks kind of amazing, actually. I think for independent cinema and for the future of film and television production, these are super exciting times. That's not all it is. It's not just visual effects. And also, if it is just visual effects, so then that gets rid of all the people who used to do the visual. So what you're saying is it's really cool that I can do it cheaper and put people out of work.
Yeah.
Right? And
make it look
energy consumption and all this other ethical bullshit that goes along with AI. And if you're going to champion independent cinema, right? If you're going to mention independent cinema in this quote and have been like historically a champion of independent film, well, then it's no longer independent film, is it?
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's
anything that made indie cinema indie is now gone.
Yeah.
If you're incorporating this stuff, so I just think it's. I mean, I think that shit is just so disingenuous and just ridiculous to sit there and be like, well, it used to cost this, but now it costs this. But also like referencing Beowulf with Zemeckis and that stuff.
Right. Right.
That's completely different. That's not just like a couple visual. I mean, that's an entire film that he was doing something. Look, and I don't like that film, and I don't really like Zemeckis' like stop motion or whatever mocap stuff.
Shit, yeah.
But it was a different process. It's not just visual effects. That's
right. And like, if you want to talk about it being computer generated effects, that's not what AI is doing.
Right.
Because if you look at like the clip that came out just recently with
Donald Trump playing hockey.
No, fuck that guy. There's only one clip of Trump I'm interested in.
The P tape.
Yeah, that one.
Sorry.
But no. The Transformer. There was a Transformer clip somebody made. It's just a little short thing that someone was like, "Oh, and this took $200 million to make, and then blah 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 over so many years." And this is like one. You realize that there's a reason, right? That's how all technology works.
Yes.
And also, you're just stealing from someone who spent $200 million to make something. Right. And again, I abhor the Transformers films. But I'm not going to sit there and say they. I mean, like, yes, I don't. I think they do. I think from a visual perspective, I think they're horrifically ugly, and just chaotic in a way that's not visually pleasing.
What do you expect from Michael Bay?
Right. No. I understand, but I mean, like, again, so you made a clip that just takes Transformers and you made it look worse, and you didn't do anything. Like, you never stopped to ask if you should.
Right. Well, no. Right. So yeah, I mean, so again, and like Avery is not taking into consideration all the appropriation of existing material that these films are going to use to generate trash. Right. I mean, that's the other thing. So like now we're okay with them. I mean, the one of the bigger things with AI in general is that, right? Is the scraping for content, right? And just taking other stuff that people have done, right? Because even if it's copyrighted, it doesn't matter. They can still find it, still pull it off. I mean, that's what writers and artists are so angry about.
Yeah.
Right. And so Avery, again, Mr. Champion of independent cinema, doesn't seem to care about that.
It's just weird coming from. It's also like it's weirdly tied into, like, not tied in necessarily, but like tied into like what Tarantino is doing right now with just kind of shitting on the industry,
just
as
kind
a
of being
whole.
A dick.
Right. Yeah. It's weird that like he's kind of existing in this space of shitting on people. And again, I mean, granted, I'm sure once anybody gets in a room with Bret Easton Ellis, you kind of just turn into a piece of shit anyway. but
yep, I would imagine.
But
you read too many Bret Easton Ellis novels, you turn into a piece of shit. I just want a fair warning, Jason. Don't read too many.
But yeah, I mean, like, why? What's the purpose?
I guess just to make money. But I don't know why. Like, you need more money.
But okay. So again, you don't. This is the ultimate problem with this, right? And which has been the ultimate problem for a while now. And we've talked about this before. But as soon as you make these movies and making them be easy reduces any sort of liability for them whatsoever. Forget about the art, right? It doesn't. At a certain point, it doesn't fucking matter about what kind of movie you're making, or if it's any fucking good at all, if it looks good or not. All you need to do is get the movie out, but get it to be sold. And now, we're building a generation of, where everything is so disposable that you won't fuck it. Like you said, he'll get $1 million. He'll put half of that in his pocket, put the rest of it on the screen, sell it to somebody else. The movie will be forgotten, and no one will fucking care. It'll come out for a week. People will watch it, go, "Oh, that sucked," and then they'll never think about it again. And it's just like fucking YouTube videos or all this shit that just exists and then goes the fuck away because you don't. It's like, Mr. Beast shit. Like it's just I'm gonna oh, it's the next. I'm gonna have a guy stick his dick in a fucking snake for $1 million, whatever. And I know Mr. Beast does whatever. I don't fucking whatever. I'm not trying to like pick him out, but I mean that's the idea of like these guys who are like, I'm gonna build a house.
He has his own candy bar.
He has all kinds of shit.
That's crazy.
I think he has his own burger place.
I saw
now.
like one of his.
That guy's a
candy
fucking
bars.
billionaire.
So here's okay. Along with Mr. Beast being a billionaire and having a candy bar, I don't care about the burger joint. He's got his own candy bar. That's impressive, right? But no, and Avery like taking money, making shit, not caring. It's also the not caring thing. I think that like irks me a bit, right? He knows he's gonna make garbage, get paid for it,
right?
And that's it. He's like, yeah, no one's gonna watch this. I don't care,
right?
I think that is really upsetting, right? I mean, why then are you even doing this? If you can't take a kind of pride in it, if you're clearly just doing it for cash, right? And I think the same thing, again, I really don't know anything about Mr. Beast. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm not familiar, but it seems like it's that same kind of mentality, right? Of just...
Don't worry about it either. You're okay.
Okay, I had no idea what was going on there. This just the mentality of like just doing it for cash and then getting out, and there's no artistic merit in that at all.
No. I mean, like, and it's but in the alternative, then also I still think rings true when you have someone like Fincher or Scorsese, who's like, oh well, I don't have to hone my craft because I have so much money, I can do whatever the fuck I want. Mm-hmm. And like I can be as long-winded, I can throw everything against the wall, I can spend as frivolous. I mean, like that sucks as well. But I'd rather see that than to see, these other like this end. There's like who knows where these are going to end up. But for Amazon owning MGM and putting out these films, like it doesn't matter to them that these movies are good or not.
No,
it doesn't. No, it just matters that they have something to put on Prime and after a 45-day window or whatever that may be.
And that we order something,
right? Or that we believe that AI is all good. It's fucking it's depressing. But yeah, I mean, but fuck Avery, fuck Tarantino. I mean, like those guys, like just fucking be decent human beings,
right? Like, I know that's difficult these days, but try.
Right, and that's the other thing is like if your argument was like, man, I've been trying to make this movie forever, and all I want to do is make this last epic film, and I need this amount of money to do it, and I can't get it done for this, but if I use AI to do this and this and this, and I'm going to try to do it as ethically as possible, and I'm going to try to employ as many people as I can. We're going to only use it in these. I'd listen, right? Yeah, I mean, if it is truly a matter of an independent filmmaker wanting to make, a sci-fi epic and they need that extra pushover to make their, okay, I'd listen, right? I'm not going to say I'm in love with it, but I'd listen.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
I mean, but it's not that. This is an established filmmaker who's one, like you said, taking jobs away, but then going to start to push people out, right? This is not somebody who's not a no-name, right? This is not somebody who has to do this.
Right.
And again, like you said, if you can't get money to make a faith-based film right now, I mean, I could walk outside and say I'm making some fucking,
people would listen.
Right, yeah. Right.
Like, well, I might have something. Why not? Yeah, right. Yeah, that's interesting. Let's talk about this, right?
I want to make Home Alone, but where Kevin is Jesus. I guarantee you people would line up and give me a shit ton of money.
Is he going to walk on water?
Yeah, right. He's going to turn the hearts of the unbelievers, which is going to be played by Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern.
But I also think there's something there because they would actually love the violence in that, right? They would love the Jesus doing violence. Because I think in a lot of these people's minds, right, Jesus carries has a bullet.
We're just going to go ultra right.
Yeah. Well,
Right. Jesus comes back to kick some ass. Like he basically lays waste to.
Jesus carries a Desert Eagle 50 caliber.
Right. Blessed are the meek. Fuck that shit.
Okay.
Jesus H. Christ. The H stands for hand grenade.
Wow. These are all the films like from our 80s childhood coming back into play. All right, let's stop this nonsense and let's talk about The Long Goodbye.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right.
Marlowe, you're the nicest neighbor we ever had.
Gotta be the nicest neighbor. I'm a private eye.
Meet Philip Marlowe.
Marlowe? Marlowe! Marlowe.
Your name, Marlowe?
You shouldn't be out of bed, Mr. Marlowe.
I'm not Mr. Marlowe. This is Mr. Marlowe right here.
Well, who are you? You're Philip Marlowe. Are you crazy?
Yeah.
Elliot Gould is Philip Marlowe in Robert Altman's The Long Goodbye.
I'm honking my horn. You're supposed to get out of the way. It's okay. You're a nice dog. I didn't do nothing. Mrs. Wade.
Nina Van Palat is Eileen Wade. She's a very shady lady.
I like your face, too. I feel you're someone I can trust.
Your crazy Looney Tune husband could have killed Sylvia Lennox.
Sterling Hayden is her husband, Roger.
Why don't you call your friend the Marlboro man in here?
It's not his business.
He's a very crazy man.
You ever think about suicide, Marlboro?
Me? I don't believe in it.
Laugh-In's Henry Gibson is Dr. V.
Dr. V, Dr. V, Dr. V, you must help me, Dr. V. Do you know a Dr. V?
He's a shrink who's already been shrunk.
Write the check, Roger.
What check?
Write the check, Roger!
Whoa.
Jim Boughton is Terry Lennox, a small-time punk.
Well, that's you, Marlowe. You'll never learn. You're a born loser.
You can't take my money. I want my money.
Mark Rydell is Marty Augustine, a big-time punk.
It's supposed to be some kind of smart crack.
What do you think, Mabel?
Ow! Oh, wow.
That's someone I love, and you I don't even like.
The Long Goodbye has everything a detective movie should have.
What, could you explain that to me?
Action. Suspense.
Listen, Harry, in case you lose me in traffic, this is the address where I'm going. You
Thank
look
you.
great. Harry, I would straighten your tie a little bit.
Yeah.
Harry, I'm proud to have you following me.
Mystery.
What the hell are you doing here? That's not
I'm getting ready to sing Swanee. Swanee, how I love you.
I don't understand. I don't understand it at all.
Beautiful girls. Exotic locations.
Hey, Mrs. Wade!
An exciting chase scene. And a surprise ending. But this isn't it.
Hooray for Hollywood! You may be homely in your neighborhood. Hooray for Hollywood! Hooray for Hollywood!
Marlowe investigates a friend's alleged suicide, missing money, and murder in 1970s Los Angeles. This is kind of like an anti-Private Eye movie, right? And Gould as kind of an anti-Philip Marlowe. In 1973, this character's kind of played out. It's been done for a while.
Right. And I think that's, it's anachronistic, right? I mean,
Yes.
he's like, it's Marlowe in the 70s, right?
Yes.
The Marlowe
Yeah.
doesn't understand the world that he lives in anymore.
Well, this is interesting too, that like the thing that carries over from like the Bogart, right, Marlowe, is that sense of morals is still there, right? He still has to do the right thing in a world of people who don't give a shit about anyone else, right? But you brought up that in a different world, Gould would have been in a series of Fletch movies.
Yes.
And so I kind of want to like use this as a frame to sort of at least start talking about this, because I know Fletch is not a PI, but he's an investigative journalist, so he's kind of a PI in that film. Right? And so I think that's the right analog for this film. So I don't know, like how would you, because this was also, well, I'll stop there and then I'll come back to something, but yeah.
No, I think it would be, before we talk about this movie as a whole, but I think one, this plays the right balance. Like lay it out. Fletch is one of my favorite films.
Yeah.
Like I think
no, it's funny, it's sweet, it's funny, it's
right. It's the perfect level of chase. And the mystery is solid. Like how it all ties in. it's that perfect sense of like everything's interconnected, but you don't know it, and you don't really know how.
Yeah.
And he's got to figure it all out. So I think that the making him an investigative journalist works so well is because it kind of allows him to play with that, and he's not really trying to be hired, or has the moral high ground of like uncovering the truth.
But in this again, like where he kind of aligns with like the Marlowe type character, right? He's got that moral center.
Right. I think like the problem with Chase is that he's too Chevy Chase, right? I mean, like,
right.
So when it's Fletch, when the first one comes out, that's fine because it's funny and you need a star vehicle. But had this just been a series of films, like Gould is the perfect person to play that because he wouldn't ham it up to the camera. And I think Chase, that's what I'm saying about like in Fletch, that's why Chase is the best. And I think that's why Fletch Lives doesn't really work as well.
Yeah.
Is because Fletch Lives, they dive into like too much of Chase being a Lothario and too much of Chase like having those kind of flights of fancy like he does in in the vacation films, and it becomes more of a chase vehicle than it becomes a story around the person. And of course, by that time, Fletch being as successful as it was, then like he's going off and doing things like Funny Farm and things because he's a bona fide, I'm going to see a Chevy Chase movie.
Yeah.
And then he was in 83 or 84 whenever Fletch came out as well. But he I don't know, like I don't know whatever Ritchie was able to do with directing him that just kind of like made him like, it almost seemed like this was like Chase's first foray into like serious acting, because there are moments in Fletch where he's playing the role straight. When he's talking about the drugs on the beach.
Is that Tommy Lasorda?
Right. I fucking hate Tommy Lasorda. He doesn't say fucking, but whatever. And there's enough like, the one thing I don't think that, the one thing that doesn't work, which doesn't really, it's not really part of Fletch. It's not like in the books or like in the John Hamm version, he's not always putting on disguises.
Right.
And so that's the other thing. Right. I think that's really funny. And I think all those moments are great in Fletch, but I don't necessarily think that you need them. They're just there for comedic elements. If you put Gould in this role where he's just kind of this hound dog, like, I think he's funny enough and sarcastic and mean and biting, and as Chase is, without having the kind of over the top. I think that series of films lasts way longer than just Fletch and Fletch Lives. I think you have an entire, I mean, if Gould wants to do them, I think it's an entire series of movies that plays out well.
But also, they wanted to do a series of these.
Right.
And so this is where kind of like I was like, forget about Fletch, but more of Gould in these, because then I think we get like sort of those elements in there, right? And I think that Gould is so good in this film as a kind of, or what I like about this film is sort of being set in the 70s is he seems, like you said, so out of place.
Right.
He walks around in a suit that is completely rumpled and looks like he slept in it, like they are pajamas, right? And there is none of that, like, put togetherness of the earlier Chandler films.
I do think, though, this would have been hard to follow up as with another, Philip Marlowe role with Gould, because, spoiler alert, he shoots his best friend at the end of the movie. Like, it's hard. Where do you go from that as being
well,
like this?
He goes back to California because he did that in Mexico.
Sure. So. Right. So it clearly doesn't matter. It doesn't count.
And it was like in some weird lagoon.
I love Terry's response. I killed her, but you can't call it murder. I mean, like, she was yelling at me.
She was yelling at me, man.
She was upset I was having an affair. Like,
it's so good. I saw her face, buddy boy. Well,
yeah, it's this movie, and so I mean, it would have been great to have. It's interesting because Gould is like in a down point in his career right now. They have to like do a whole psych evaluation, to get him on this movie. Altman's not the first choice. Bogdanovich is, which I also think is an interesting choice for this film as well.
Mm-hmm. But then I don't know if you read this too, but then at a certain point, it seemed like that they had hired Gould to lure Altman in.
Right. I think United Artists was like, we want Altman to do this, and so we'll put Gould in the spot so that Altman will come on board. I mean, I think the whole like that whole process is really interesting. I don't know. I mean, like but the way that this is all structured, I find the timing of this film and like what they tried to do with it really, really interesting because it feels like Altman is a good 10 years ahead of everyone, but every film that he makes, right? I mean, he and like sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Like this, it's funny to me that this comes out a year before Chinatown, and like to me, this is I like Polanski's Chinatown. I mean, but I don't think it's this. I think this is so much more interesting to me because it's not really about like a convoluted, murder mystery. It's about Marlowe. It is about him kind of navigating.
A man and his cat,
right? A man and his cat. It's about friendship, right? And it's about the betrayal and about trying to like, and it's so like it's interesting that like audiences. One, I think they marketed this poorly, and if you look at the trailer, especially the first trailer, they play it kind of as a serious detective potboiler type thing, and then they hire, I think Jack Davis is the artist's name, if I'm getting it correct. They re-release it a few months later with this like kind of like Mad magazine kind of artwork, which I love that poster. It's great. But like to kind of sell it as this comedy, which I think also is marketing it wrong. Right. Because it's not this hilarious. It's less funny than California Split, which I know comes later. But like, and it's obviously less funny than MASH. This movie's not ha-ha funny.
No.
Like there's moments that I think are good, but they're just, and funny, but I think they're just kind of good and funny because they're normal, like out of the they're Altman things. Yep. Like when he's talking about like, there's a lot of rat-a-tat-tat dialogue that's really that Gould pulls off well. And I think the whole like, oh, is this where you're supposed to tell me that, I don't ask the questions, you don't ask questions, I ask the questions. Like, but also there's a moment where
what I need a cat for, mister? I got a girl.
Right. But there's also like, Gould is so good and different in this as opposed to MASH or opposed to California Split because he's kind of this bumbling idiot as well. Like his insults don't land. His like they have no salt whatsoever. He's not like he's good with cops, but then when he gets in sort of any sort of like and granted when he's on the beach he's drunk and he's talking about sticking 2 sand crabs up your nose and like going.
Would you go tweeze your eyebrows?
Yeah. Like none of that shit. It's funny, but it doesn't really make. It's just like
he's drunk. It doesn't even make sense. That's great.
Again, he's the one scene when he's sitting with Wade's wife, and he's talking. They're just off the cuff. He's just talking about how the butter comes out of the chicken and how's that work?
How do you get the butter in the chicken?
You cut the chicken and the butter comes out. How's that work? It's like there's moments
you did all
like
this yourself.
There's moments like that like that's why I think like you really like even now you just don't get filmmakers that have that level of confidence that allow movies to exist in this space like a real life like there's no reason to have those words in this movie.
No,
it doesn't. No. It doesn't add anything other than just kind of ambiance. And but like, and how do you script that? Like, I know that like a lot of between the Altman, are Gould's and the guy who played Wade's character,
Sterling Hayden.
Yes, I know. I just couldn't pull it. I was just like trying to get through it. But that a lot of that stuff was. It was
between them,
because he was always high and drunk the entire time.
Just completely fucked up.
Right. Which plays well.
Boy, that performance really shows it.
Right. But you either think he's the greatest actor of all time or he's really
just fucked up. Yeah. Which may be a bit of both.
Yeah. True. But I think it really works well for that Hemingway type of character that he's playing, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes. I think everyone is so pitch perfect in this. I think Altman does an amazing job at casting. I think the Schwarzenegger cameo, even though you don't care about that, but like 'cause at that time anyway, it's so great.
Right.
It's such a great like callback to early Schwarzenegger career to have him just sitting there like when he's unbuckling his pants, like his chest is just bouncing up and down.
He's so big.
It's gigantic.
And it's like he's almost there just for a gag, right? Just like look at this giant and this like mix of like hoods. Right?
But this film, the film. At its essence is about betrayal of a best friend. His best friend is having an affair. Well, okay. So he thinks that his best friend comes to him after have a fight with his wife. He wants him to drive him to Tijuana. And then the next morning, Gould's character gets arrested because that character's wife had been killed, and and then later on we find out. Well, anyway, and then he gets out of jail when it comes out that his friend committed suicide, and so they think that the cops think that Terry killed his wife, and then went to Tijuana to commit suicide. And then somebody hires Gould because he shows up on a paper to go and find her husband. He's at this rehab center.
Yeah, it's kind of like a new agey,
right,
California special head shrinking place,
right?
With the guy from the Burbs,
right? And it turns out that that's the woman who was, there's a subplot about some gangsters with money, and then there's another affair, and there's actually only one affair, but it's not who you think it is,
right?
And then it turns out the guy who committed suicide had faked his own death. Like, the movie doesn't give a shit about the plot at all. Like, and in fact, like it moves from piece to piece as Gould kind of like tries to navigate this, but like a lot of times you don't really give a shit like what Gould is actually doing. It's just set piece to set piece to set piece, and you just realize that this guy does not know how to live in this world anymore.
Right.
And I think that's kind of the obviously I think the friendship angle is the theme, right? I know that's what Altman said, is like the whole cat sequence at the beginning is you can't fool a cat. Gould's the cat, right? I mean, like, and so you can't pull one over on him, or you can't lie to a cat is the idea. But I mean, I do believe that this is a movie about a guy who's out of time and doesn't understand the world. He lives next to some hippie women that are always topless
and doing yoga
and making hash brownies. He doesn't understand the immoral landscape, and that's why he's so hurt by it all. And I think that's why, like, what drives him, his curiosity of all of this, even when he finds Wade, and there's no reason for him to go back and reinvestigate those people, to go back and look at them. He does, because he doesn't really understand really, truly what's going on. He doesn't understand the hippy-dippy new age rehab place. He's intrigued by this guy who seems like a throwback to his time, of like kind of a drunken sailor time.
Yeah.
And then
when men were men.
Right. And he doesn't give a shit. He's a writer, but doesn't give a shit about women's faces. He only cares about men's faces. And then he's confronted with these gangsters who want money, but they won't believe that he had nothing to do with it.
Right.
And so now that he's tied to these people, it makes sense for him to do what he does at the end of the film. And then whistle or harmonica, hooray for Hollywood, which I think is a brilliant piece of. I think the music and John Williams' use of the Long Goodbye and
throughout
breaking the song, right,
thing.
and then the hooray for Hollywood stuff, I think is really good. I think and that I know how this will sound, but that moment is just as good as This Is China. Forget it, Jake. It's Chinatown.
Yeah. No, yes.
I mean, it's
absolutely. Right? I mean, because this movie, too, is about Hollywood, right? I mean, it's about kind of Altman studying this place, right? And maybe Altman showing his attitude towards this place, right? And some of the people in it. And, and again, like, how do you navigate this, right? How do you navigate this world that has changed so much over time, right? It maybe was never great to begin with, but now it's just gotten to the point where it's just like everybody uses everybody else, right? And nobody gives a shit. I mean, even Marlowe's cat splits when Marlowe doesn't give him the right food, right? And it's not Marlowe's fault. He tried. He tried to go out and get him Coury brand, man, Coury, right? But the cat wouldn't eat, and then the cat's gone, never comes back. And even at the end, right? Terry says, Marlowe's like, "Why me?" And he's like, "Oh, you're a born loser."
Yeah, you're a born loser, right? Yeah.
Right. And so, I mean. And then that ending of Hooray for Hollywood just clicks that in. Like, it's like, right. This is what this fucking place is like, right?
And I really like the take of the film where, once Marlowe gets hit by the car, that's his death. And that everything that happens after that is a dream sequence.
Oh, okay.
That's kind of like a correction or a course correction of everything that's had come before. But he didn't really live. He got killed, and that was the end of it. And then everything else is like him, doing kind of making things right, in the afterlife, essentially, just in his own mind. Have you ever tried to feed a cat cottage cheese and salt?
I have not. I've Never really tried to feed a cat.
I do. That whole sequence at the beginning is so great, and it sets up everything you need to know about this character. But like, he's digging the cottage cheese out of the canister with like a pie server.
Yes. Yeah.
And then when he buys the cat food, he takes it out with his hand and shoves it into a
curry brand can. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But I mean, but you're right. That does tell you everything you need to know about this character. I mean, he's going that far to make this cat happy, right? He's trying.
At like 4 a.m. or whatever, right?
Yeah. The cat wakes him up. You get the feeling this cat doesn't really live there.
Right. Yeah.
He just kind of comes in when he's hungry.
He's got a cardboard door, basically.
Yeah. Right. And so Marlowe's trying his fucking best to take care of this cat. I mean, he goes out to the store, does all this stuff.
He goes out to the store, buys the wrong cat food because that's the only thing that they have.
Because they're out.
And then he makes his show. He goes to the kitchen, closes the cat
door,
out.
closes the cat out of the kitchen.
So the cat won't see him switching the cat food. And then he comes out and is like, oh, that's right, you were hungry. Come on, we'll make you some food.
Come on, Corey Brand. See, it's what you like. But no, but again, I mean, if you want to talk about grounding like the moral center of this character, there you go.
Right.
Like, that's it, right? Because no one else in this film would do that.
Right. And like no other filmmaker would do that.
Would take that much time to show
this
that.
This is a 10-minute sequence at the beginning of your movie.
It opens the fucking film.
Right.
A private eye with his cat. He's trying to trick with the food.
And we haven't established the story. There's so many things in there that just feel like you have to have like Altman just thinking that they're funny or quirky. But we had, and I can't believe we haven't mentioned it yet, but we had a guy who has a Jimmy Stewart impression.
Oh, that's right. And a Walter Brennan impression.
Right.
He's like a gate guard at the neighborhood where the rich people live.
Right. Like, why does that character exist? Like,
why idea.
Like, why
is because it's Hollywood.
Oh, right. No, I understand.
And,
But I mean, like,
but I mean,
again,
I think it's showing just like that everybody there wants to be a star anyway, right?
But no one else does that though, and like, it's the butter out of the chicken comment. I mean, like, it's just a thing that I think Altman finds like
that he finds, but we find funny.
Right. The sequence where the one like the one gangster that stays back to
Harry?
watch, and like he gets. He tries to climb the fence, and the fence opens.
And just.
And then
You're not supposed to let me see you follow me.
Right. And then he's like, hey, just in case you get lost, here's the address I'm going to. And then he tells the gate guard, let this guy through. I kind of like him.
But he really likes Walter Brennan.
Right. Yes.
This is why we switch recording studios.
Yeah. This is awesome.
This is this fucking place, man. I gotta tell you. I mean, I know this is not the time or place for this, but it is it's gonna be the fucking death of me.
Well, we all
this nonsense. I mean,
our time's coming for us all.
Yeah, I know. And now I'm like too old to move across fucking country. Anyway,
right. But I mean, again, I don't know how to like. I know that this film, like, and surprisingly, Pauline Kael liked this film.
I had that. So. Look, it's rare that it happens, right? But I agree with Pauline Kael when she called this film comic and melancholy, a high-flying rap on Chandler in the movies. She also talked about Gould's performance as his best yet, right? And praised the film for achieving a self-mocking fairy tale poetry.
Yeah, did most critics just go in expecting like
I don't know.
No nuance in films in like the 50s
Bogart,
and 60s and
right?
70s?
I mean, they had to go in thinking this was going to be like another...
So, I mean, like, yes, I would imagine. Okay, so would this film have done better were this not a Philip Marlowe flick? Because, I mean, like, by this time, like, most of Marlowe's films had been, most of Chandler's novels had been adapted. Like,
This was one of the last ones.
Do you really? And like this, like, they took huge liberties with this. Is like the screenwriter was saying, like, if you
not just the screenwriter, it was Lee Brackett.
Yeah, I know.
Come on. But I think it's interesting, and I'll let you I'll let you finish. No, but like,
no, it's fine. Go ahead.
But I mean, she wrote The Big Sleep too. Mm-hmm. I mean, so you're bringing in someone who can sort of adapt the nonsense that these Chandler novels. I mean, they were convoluted to begin with. So sorry, go ahead.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's what, like, I mean, when was the last time you had? I guess when was The Big Sleep then? I mean, like when was the last time you had like a really honest to goodness?
Yeah,
like it would have been the
40s and 50s.
Yeah, I mean, like it wouldn't have been like even Mitchum. Like it wouldn't have been.
Well, Mitchum
like,
was after.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
They're 75.
Yeah. So I mean, you would have had a huge separation, and this would have been kind of one of the first neo noirs that existed, right? I mean, like because again, it comes before Chinatown, which is kind of the godfather of neo noir.
Yeah.
Really. So I mean, like, I don't know. It's weird that this film didn't get contemporary recognition, because they were expecting this kind of like straight-laced, I want to know, like I'm going to have this, back-end voiceover and we're going to make him wear a fedora.
He's going to fall in love with someone.
Right. Yeah. He should have had sex with both of the women and really truly loved like one of his secretary or somebody. Like it was always kind of like the standby, right?
Yeah,
I mean, but yeah, I mean,
have this complicated relationship like there was with Lauren Bacall's character, and
right, and get too in deep into this, and like, but yeah, you don't need any of that.
No, no, but I mean, I think you hit on something there where like if people went in, what does it say about viewers or critics at the time, or maybe critics now, where they go in with such expectation, not of quality, right, but of content.
Right, and also just like consistency of like I want the thing to be a thing that I think it is. Like I don't want any sort of variation.
Like, you're leaving no room for sort of surprise, right?
Right.
For curiosity or for like to just be sort of taken in by a story. I mean, I think going in, like you can go in expecting something good, but if you go in expecting X, Y, and Z, then you're almost always going to be disappointed.
Right.
I mean, it's why like
sure.
all of like the Star Wars people got all hissy fit like with the like newer films or whatever. I don't know. I don't understand these people, right?
That's why.
but it's I don't. I just don't think you can do that and then sit there and just like shit on the film or like because it wasn't this thing that you wanted it to be.
Right.
That's what bothers me.
Yeah, and it just feels like and again, I get the marketing and I get. But like it just seems like from a critic's perspective, like were you really like digging into 3-minute long trailers and oh this is you were gonna go see this fucking anyway, right? I mean like why watch a trailer why at all?
Yeah.
Like why not let this be a contemporary take on the genre?
Yeah, because it's interesting.
Right. But I mean, and I guess if you're looking for like, and also you knew who Altman was at this point.
No, I know.
Right. You knew like, oh, this is an Altman Philip Marlowe flick. Okay. So I've already seen an Altman horror film and I've seen an Altman war film and I've seen an Altman Flight of Fancy film, like a really kind of,
it's probably not going to be exactly what I expect.
Right. But
like Ebert and Siskel liked it.
Right.
Which was good. Right. But I think that's kind of it, wasn't it?
Yeah, them and Kale. And I think there were a few others that were, but yeah, I think all in all, this was kind of a middle of the road. And it didn't, they had to like, it was in Los Angeles and like Chicago and then they pulled the New York screen. I mean, like, so they had to re-release it later on. And like, I think another one of those, like, it's one of those things too. It's like a weird, like, even moralistically, with Marlowe killing his best friend in Mexico, and the idea of like, and his best friend being so flippant about like, it doesn't matter, we're in Mexico now, and no one's going to care because I'm dead.
Yeah.
And so they're going to, and like now the gangsters aren't going to care, so there's no reason for the cops to get involved because we returned the money for the gangsters, right? And so like. I do think there may have been a little bit of like, why is our hero killing somebody and then walking off and whistling
and yeah.
But I mean, like, this is also, you've still seen like Mean Streets. I mean, it's like there's things that have been like, there's movies that have been downers at this point that have been like, not that this movie is even that, but I mean, like, there's been movies that have subverted expectations, and this is what you're going to go in and like. Shit on it because it's not a fucking classic Raymond Chandler fucking movie.
Right.
And how many of those do you fucking need?
Like, we don't need the same film. We don't need the same version of Marlowe over and over and over and over again.
And Altman's correct. And like you've already seen really, really good versions of those films already.
We don't need Gould doing Bogart.
Right. Because you would have shit all over that. Right? Had this have been like you know, a non-satirical take on just putting Gould in that, like, one, why would you put Gould in that role? But like,
right.
But yeah, had it have been that kind of nonsense, and like, had you been really tied into like trying to figure out this plot, like, who gives a shit?
No,
the plot's inconsequential. Like, it doesn't.
It's just like The Big Sleep. I have no idea what's going on in that film.
Right.
I've seen it a number of times. I really like that movie.
Yeah.
But I couldn't tell you what the fucking plot is. I mean, I have no idea, really.
Right. Yeah. No, me.
You know, but again, like, I don't care. That's not really why we're watching it. Same thing like here. It's not really why we're watching this film.
Right.
Right. That plot doesn't matter. It's the stuff under it. Right. The stuff beneath the surface that we really care about. And I think that, like, I just love how, like, lazy this movie is. And what I mean is, like, how it moves. Right.
Right.
It's just kind of wandering. Right? I mean, very much like Altman's films, but like, we're just watching Gould just sort of like stumble around, shuffle around, and it just kind of takes its time. It's not in a hurry ever.
No,
and I love it.
It's under two, but like it does just, like I said, you meander from place to place.
It's a lazy river
like
kind of
you.
movie.
You don't have to move. Like, none of the things that happen, they only happen because Marlowe decides to move from place to place.
Yeah.
And that's basically it.
Yeah. But it's so textured, right? It's so just kind of like frayed at the edges. It's just a little rough, and it's just.
Also, no one takes a car hit and falls off like Gould. Like, that was perfect.
That was really good.
Like, it was like he fell off to this. Like, he didn't really roll. He rolled, but not in a weird way. He slid off head first on the side of the road. I'm like, damn, that was a good that was a really good car hit.
I'm not Marlowe. That's Marlowe.
Right. Where have you been? How long has it been since you've been here?
What does she say? Like, it's been like 3 days, and she gives some weird reason. It's like,
I think she had the flu, or like, so yeah, don't get him sick. Don't
breathe on him. Yeah. I don't. What was I gonna say? I don't know. I was gonna ask you about how you felt about the ending, and I was gonna say, like, it's such a shock ending, right?
Yeah, it is.
And I think it earns it. I think Marlowe's had enough at that point, right? I mean, he's trying to find out what happened. Once he does, then he's just like, I've had it. Right?
Well, how else do you end it with outside of, like, you know, you can't, again, it is forget it, Jake, this is Chinatown.
Yeah.
But it's also, you know, Jake not forgetting it.
Right.
It's a fuck you.
Right.
Fuck you.
Right.
Fuck you. This is not Chinatown. I'm going to fucking do what I fucking, I'm not going to like just get rolled over. Now, there's something to be said, obviously. And one of the great endings of movies, like it's something to be said about, like, realizing that you're going to get fucked by the system. The system, it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
But also, I like, this is not that, in the sense of, like, you don't have to get fucked over by your friends.
Yep.
Fuck your friends.
Yeah. Fuck you. Yeah.
Just shoot them in the chest.
Guess we weren't really friends anyway.
Right. You think I'm a loser, right? Well, here you go. How much of a loser am I now, right?
Huh, bitch.
But and I think that idea of, like, you know, this idea that Gould has an actual arc, right? Now he comes back and realizes that, like, that his moral compass isn't broken, and it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be bent for this place that he lives in. He can take control of it. He doesn't have to be who people see him as, as being, right?
And it's kind of taking charge too for his misreading of his friend.
Right.
Like, because through this movie, he defends him the entire time.
Right.
He's
right.
Like, he would never do that. He would never do that. He's my friend. I've known this guy for a long time.
Right.
And then at the end, he's kind of like, taking charge of that.
Yeah, I think it's a great, and I love the fact that, you know, the embodiment of the immorality, which I know this is a little touchy because it's a female, but, like, the embodiment of the immorality sees him and is now worried about what's going, like, now, he's not a loser, right? She sees it. He doesn't acknowledge her at all.
Nope. But you see her,
right? And now she's like, I've got to deal with the aftermath. You know, you just got to deal with the aftermath of the murder. But you don't see that. You just realize that she knows that he knows, and that what's going to happen next. She's going to always have to live under this guise of, because she's the immoral one.
Yep.
Right? She's going to have to continue this path of, like, of deception.
And she can't do anything. I mean, like,
right?
She's going to go back and find her lover murdered, and what is she going to do? find somewhere else to go. I mean,
Right,
like
right.
she has no sort of recourse after that.
The Mexican cop scene is so fun too. Like they like fall over themselves to like give him coffee and like and show him whatever he wants to be shown. Like
and then when they confess to just like doing everything, they're like, oh, I took the pictures and I put a gun up to his head. And I gave him a shot that made him look like he was dead. And they're just like, it's great.
Right.
It's just so funny. Yeah, we met Mr. Madison.
But as much as the plot doesn't matter in this film, I do think it's a really tight script. I mean, I think everything. Everything makes sense. Like, right? I mean, like, Wade is distraught, so he kills himself by the sea. Yeah. Like, his wife doesn't want that. I mean, like, she's obviously unhappy in the relationship, but she doesn't. I mean, she just wants that to end. But mainly because he's drunk and high all the time.
Yeah.
Terry brings the money back because he doesn't want these guys coming after him anymore. Right. There's a lot of coincidental and perfect timing things that happen. Yeah. But I mean, whatever, that's fine. I mean, that happens in all movies, right?
But again, like part of going to the movies is suspending disbelief.
Right. You only have 2 hours to tell a story. Like you can't stretch it over months.
And
months
like there are ways to make these things acceptable, and I think this is a film that does that.
Right.
I also think that one reason that the script feels so tight too is because, I mean, and I've talked about this before, but Altman does things like compartmentalize, right? Everything is like a little vignette, a little self-contained scene that, yes, kind of flows into the other, but really only through like echoes and never really like a straightforward plot. I mean, even MASH, right? You had like a little bit here, a little bit there, and then you put it all together like in your own head, right? Except for the football game.
Right, which it does feel like an add-on in a weird way.
Takes up way too much time.
Right. But for a first film, I'll forgive it.
No.
Yeah.
Right.
And it was probably a huge part of the novel that he couldn't get. He really couldn't get rid of it. And also, if you're going to have like, if you're going to have those people in your movie, you probably have to have that scene in there.
Yeah.
But I also think that what Altman does so well, and what you think that this plot doesn't really matter, but the script's so tight, is that like, and I think one of the reasons he does these things of like adding these conversations in is because they're interesting. Like like you don't feel like this movie ever drags because everything that happens, every interaction that Marlowe has, every conversation that he has feels real, but it also doesn't feel pedantic. It feels like it has meaning. It feels like it's two people actually conversing and trying to figure one another out, or trying to convey something about themselves to the other person. And like, and especially for Marlowe, it really does feel like he's just like, okay, I'm going to listen to all these people and say quippy things back to get them to continue to talk to me so I can figure out where the fuck I am in this world.
But only like half say them.
Right.
And mumbles.
Because he I think also Marlowe is a character that like understands he's not the smartest guy in the room.
Yeah.
Right. He understands that like he is navigating in waters that he has no business being in.
This is true.
But he's smart enough to know when to shut up, when to look around the corner, when to go and follow people, when to get involved. And yeah, I mean, occasionally it's going to get him up in hot water, but it's gotten him this far.
Yeah.
So, right.
There's really only one moment where he doesn't seem to know how to get himself out of a situation, and that's when he's in the like Marty Augustine's office and he's being told to strip, and he's just like, you see him trying like, what do I do? How do I get out of this? What do I say? Who do I like misdirect to? And he's stuck. He is just stuck.
Right. Which is when the film bells him out. Right.
Yeah,
I mean, like,
yeah. But like that's the only point in the film where you're just kind of like, oh, how's he gonna get out of this one? Everything else you see, like him, like yes, he's navigating. He's kind of like, this is the out. This is the exit. This is what I need to say to kind of, confuse someone to move somewhere else. But,
right.
Yeah.
I love the idea again how this movie sets itself up. The satire is that Marlowe says, this used to be a lot more lucrative than it has been lately.
Yeah, I mean, it plays on those conventions.
Yeah.
It plays on this idea of like being played. What does he say when he gets the phone call or when he gets the message and he calls and he gets the job? He makes a joke about
right.
And I should have written it down.
Yeah, I forget too, but I love that sequence though as well because like one, you can get steak and chips in LA back then for like 85 cents.
Yeah. We got new sandwiches.
We got some new
sandwiches. I like he goes into the bar. He's like, you got any messages for me? Yeah, I got some.
Right.
Like, okay. It's like the bar is his messaging service.
And he's trying to learn to play piano, like trying to learn how to play a song on the piano. Like it's
just the long goodbye.
Right.
Yeah. No, I think this is a real. And again, I I know it's a comedy. I know it's kind of a satire, but it's not one of those like You've got to pay attention, right? I mean, the movie doesn't spoon feed you. It doesn't just hand you these jokes, right? I mean, you've got to sort of.
Well, I think that's the kind of sneaky thing about Altman in general, but like especially this film is like you find your mind wandering, which you might.
Yes.
You're gonna miss, like especially from transition to transition. Like you need to pay attention to understand because there are details here. I mean, as much as we say the plot doesn't matter, the plot matters. I mean, it moves along.
Yeah.
And if you're not paying attention, especially from break to break, you're gonna be like, wait a minute, what the fuck just happened? What happened here?
Yeah.
And it's easy to lull yourself to sleep because you get caught up in those conversations, especially when he's talking with Wade. Like you're like, oh, I'm so caught up in this thing, like, and then
But I think Wade's character too is another way to sort of unlock kind of what's going on, right?
Right.
Because there he is. He's in this kind of like weird rehab center. He owes this guy money, right? He gets sort of publicly humiliated, right, by this guy. Then he comes to find out that like he's lying to Marlowe about Augustine owing him money when it's the other way around. And then there's this fight with he and his wife, and you come to understand like they're not as close as they used to be, and like this all falling apart, and you see her distraught, and then he throws himself in the you understand now like, okay, wait, maybe this affair was not what like we thought it was,
right. And I think Marlowe then utilizes that character to say like this guy was as close to who I used to or how I am, or this is me, and realizes what this has done to like what this world has done to this guy, right? Whether it be writing or whether it be just Hollywood in general,
right?
This is what this world is this is what even at the pinnacle of success, right?
So what you're saying is Sterling Hayden was actually Faulkner.
Yes. Yes, true. Yes, not Hemingway. He was definitely Faulkner. Old bearded white writer. I mean, like what he is.
Better Faulkner portrayal, Sterling Hayden or John Mahoney.
Ooh. I'll have to get back to you on that.
I don't know what else you want to say about this.
I think it's great. I think it's one of. I mean, I don't know if I was hard pressed outside of like the long epics of like what's my favorite Altman. I think this might be it, just because I love the way that it just kind of it feels like Elliot Gould's suit. Right. It just feels like I could just wear it like pajamas, right? It's a JCPenney tie, and I'm not going to take it off. Like it's. I love that Wade's character finds that insulting. It's like, we can go have a drink, but I want you to take off that JCPenney tie. It's like, we can go have a drink, but I'm not taking my tie off. But I think this might be my favorite Altman, just because I really, really dig just its vibe. And I feel like it is the first Altman that is truly, truly accessible to like a wider audience. I mean, like, not to say that like MASH isn't or Brewster McCloud. I mean, like, I don't think Brewster McCloud or Images are gonna pop out as anyone's favorite Altman. But I also think because they are difficult watches, and in a sense of like it's just you have to kind of be ready for this kind of vibe on both sides of it. Like this one to me feels like it's like the kind of chef's kiss.
You can just sort
especially
of fall
70s
into
Altman.
this, right?
Yeah.
You can just sort of, again, like it's a lazy river kind of film. You can fall into it and just sort of float along.
Right. And it exists in a world where like of these films that are just eminently watchable that like, it's Altman, so it's not going to be on TBS or TNT, but it feels like, and this one in California Split to me feel like these are just like really comfortable clothes. And I just love being in that world regardless. And it's, like once you've seen them enough, it's easy to come back in and fall into place. Like this is a Goodfellas type watch for me, where you can just kind of like, oh, I know where we're at. Let's just go.
You mean you're wondering why Scorsese is praising these
praising these
terrible people?
Yes, that's exactly right. Yeah. Look, he just loses the thread somewhere down the line. I don't know what happened to Scorsese. You get Timothée Chalamet blowing smoke up your butt, and then you'll think you'll start making anything.
Can we? Okay, I know that. I just want to say like one more thing, not about the film, about Chalamet. Look, I think Chalamet's a good actor. This is not about like the quality of work, but I don't need him to fucking tell me he's a good actor. Do you know what I mean? I don't need anybody to tell me how good they are at something. That just really, I don't know why. Well, no, I do know why. It's because I'm like a Gen Xer and I hate myself.
Sure.
But like, being up to me like, well, I've been doing really important, heavy work for a while now. It's like, dude, shut the fuck up. I like, okay, sure, great, you have, but like, are you that insecure that you need to tell all of us, or do you not think that we can see that?
Right. You don't see Austin Butler doing that shit.
And that man was Elvis.
He was.
And or whoever like, he played in Dune. I don't know.
Yeah, that bald black and white guy.
Yeah. He lived that role. No, I just think it's like horseshit. I do think celebrities are fucking idiots.
I think there's a preciousness to this generation of but I think people would have said that about our generation of actors and actresses as well, coming off of people like Newman and Redford and McQueen.
But did Newman or Redford ever get up there and say, "Have you seen the good work I've been doing lately?"
But you don't think there's somebody out there in fucking red state America's like, what's this queer ass salad dressing shit? Just get back up there and make movies about men.
But that's not. No, absolutely, and that's not. Again, that's not my issue.
That's red state views, not my views. That's
yeah. No, we know, MAGA Wiseman.
Right.
I mean, I don't have any problem with Chalamet dressing the way he does, or like appearing on a SD Kid, cut. I like that's not. But God, when you stand up there and you're just like, hey, I need you all to know that I think I'm doing a really great job.
Well, what's interesting about that is that that's what happens every time before some sort of huge fall. Like will get you forgotten in Hollywood faster than you can. I mean,
so yeah,
to be able to like the smell of your own farts that's going to be.
And he already made that statement that I think everyone really gave him a pass for, of like, I want to be one of the greats. I'm like, okay, you know what? That shows ambition. I think we can be like, okay, you want to do the work and you want to be considered, okay, fine, right? It's kind of like, do you need to tell us that really? I mean, like, but this I just think is like, shut the fuck up. Just
also okay. Like you're 5'3", 165 pounds. Like you're gonna be what you're gonna be, dude.
I mean, sure, right? Yeah, but it's just like, I mean, like.
Not that there's any sort of like I'm not trying to body shame, but
I was going to say.
Look, I'm just saying that like his roles are limited. I'm just going to put it out. I'm going to throw it out there.
Well, he could
bulk up.
We've
like
all seen
Mickey Rourke.
We've all seen The Materialist. He can get taller.
I don't know how tall Timothy Chalamet is. I'm just like,
no, but I just since you brought Timmy up, I'm just like.
Just shut up and dribble, Chalamet.
See, that's not what I'm saying either. I would have much rather him come out and like spewed any kind of political nonsense than to just be like, I'm so great. Well, I mean, like, you guys don't even know how good I am.
I mean, okay.
I know I'm putting words in his mouth, but essentially.
Like, really, has he like, I mean, it's not like he's early young Nicholson or even Redford. I mean, like, okay, he's worked with Dino, like, and okay, Safdie and Villeneuve a few times. Like, who else? Like, what else has he done?
I mean, I think this idea of like heavy.
That's like me saying, what up?
Does he have
raspberries? What a bunch of bullshit that is, Chalamet.
Does he have a silly podcast? Probably.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, to say that like, he's done like heavy important work.
What does that mean?
Right.
Like, and also, you don't get to determine what's heavy and important.
So that's something else, right? Doing like really great important work. I'm
like you could say you're selective about the things that you do, or you're looking for
is he though? Like his bones and all that selective?
I mean, not. I don't know.
Hot Summer Nights or whatever.
People like that movie. I mean,
okay,
like,
well,
but I did not.
Those are people. I mean, like, people like a lot of things. I don't know what your point is there.
I don't know what is his filmography. I don't know what he's done. Like, I mean, like everything that he's done. Like,
so Lady Bird.
Okay, but I mean, like
he was a small role.
But
I mean, yeah. Dylan. I'm sure he's considering the Dylan thing in there is like important.
Okay.
Work,
that I always forget about that, and like I don't care about that, to be honest. I mean, like it's
just, no, right. But I mean, look, I think Marty Supreme. I think Call Me by Your Name. I think
those are the two things that he can kind of hang his hat on.
Little Women.
No, it's not a Timothy Chalamet.
No. But I'm thinking like just in terms of like quality of films too, right? Because I don't think Beautiful Boy is something that I need to like.
No, that Steve Carell film. Like, I mean, like, yeah no, I don't care about it. No one cared about that.
The Nick Sheff book. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No one cared about the shit.
I mean, so like, but that's I guess that where you got to be where you got to be careful about saying shit like that is that there's 800 people who've done the same type of shit that you've done.
Right.
Right. And then gone nowhere. I mean, I think he's on the right trajectory.
Yeah, I don't think he's going nowhere. I'm just like, why?
I think he's making smart choices. It's just, I mean, aside from saying what he's saying.
Yeah, and he was in French Dispatch. Okay,
that's again.
I know, right.
I mean, everyone's in French Dispatch, so
no,
good for him.
I know
like,
exactly.
Like,
yeah. I mean, that's the thing.
I'm not gonna hang
you
you being in a Wes Anderson film. Like, I mean, yeah, if you're an indie artist at all, of any sort of import, you're going to be in a Wes Anderson film. It's at this point. They're all ensemble
and I don't consider, and I know this is me, but I don't consider the Dune films to be.
And they're not high art.
Anything, right?
I mean, they're not. They're
so like, what do you? Just because you're boning a Kardashian, I'm like. Good for you. Dude.
Maybe that's what he meant.
Good. Yeah, I'm doing
the
Lord's work here, guys. Someone's got to do it.
Oh well, and if that's what he meant,
and I hope
slow clap to him.
I hope they're happy, right?
Slow
I hope
clap
that
to him.
They live happily ever after, and I mean, great.
I mean, they're both probably 5'3", 115 pounds.
She's
probably
taller.
Which one is he boning?
Dude, I don't fucking know. I have no idea. I know there's like Kim and Chloe and Carly and Kylie.
Kylie.
What's Kylie Jenner, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. The other ones are Kardashians.
Right. Kim and Chloe and
Kiki.
This makes us sound fucking so old. No, what's this third one's name?
Condé Nast?
No, Courtney Kardashian. Yeah. She's the one who was married to that fucking D-bag, I think.
Oh, that one?
One of them was married to Lamar Odom. One of them was married to a literal Nazi. And then one of them was married to some sort of pompous, rich kid.
I can't
and then
imagine.
And then it's Kylie and Congo, I think, is the
All right. Who are the 5 Kardashian sisters? Courtney, Kim, Chloe, and then Kendall and Kylie. Okay.
Which one? So Chalamet's doing Kendall, right? I shouldn't say doing. That sounds
that
crass.
sounds bad. Yeah, that sounds.
They're in a loving relationship together. It's not Kylie, is it?
Let's see, Kardashian and
it's a coin flip at this point.
I know
one of them normally dates rappers.
Kylie Jenner and Timothy Chalamet.
Oh, well, good for them.
Are still together and going strong as of early 2026.
Good,
marking over 3 years of a low-key, uncomplicated relationship that began in early.
That seems very confident. In your reporting.
The couple is reported to be practically living together, with Chalamet publicly thanking his partner during a change. Why am I reading like that?
Good for him.
Yeah. No, that's
well,
great.
I take it all back. He is doing important work. And I mean, like, Beautiful Boys is the most important film that's ever been released.
Yeah. Ooh, can we talk about, like, just real fast, talk about Nina Pallant in this film? So, I think she's great in this film. But I do think it's kind of a art mirroring life.
Yeah. I know, right?
She was having an affair with the novelist that did the hoax about Howard
Hughes, right? Yeah.
And then so her ex-husband, of course, they had like the duo singing career together. Did you read about this guy?
Yeah, a little bit.
And how he died?
Oh no, I don't think so. Maybe I missed that part.
He got murdered by other drug traffickers in the Philippines.
Jesus.
And I'm just like. I mean, it is so bizarre.
Yeah.
Right. So, he and his second wife, got murdered by other drug traffickers in the Philippines. And I read his obit, and the obit just says,
and look, as drug dealers ourselves, we would never murder.
We'd have a stern conversation.
Right.
We'd have a stern talking.
Right. I mean, you'd be put on a PIP for sure.
Yeah.
And we'd have to significantly review your performance at the end of the quarter.
Yeah.
But we'd never murder you.
No, I want to read you the last paragraph of this obit. Though the couple separated and eventually divorced in 1976, they remained friends until Frederick's death from gunshot wounds, along with his second wife, Susanna. It was a measure of their continuing closeness that Nina flew out to the Philippines to bring his body home to Europe.
He died from bullet holes and bleeding out of those bullet holes.
I know they're not going to sit there and be like, he got murdered by other drug traffickers, but it's death from gunshot wounds. Yeah, I guess that would do it. Okay. Any last thoughts that you want to wrap
No,
up
I
with
think I
today?
go see. It's on Pluto and Tubi. You can watch it for free.
easy
It's
to find.
accessible. It's got some great artwork associated with it. It's just. It's got fun nudity.
It does. I mean, nothing. I don't know.
There's no stakes to the community whatsoever.
I'm trying to think of other Altman films that have nudity, and it never feels gratuitous.
Right. Yeah.
Like it just feels like part of the fabric, like when it happens.
Because even in MASH, when they but that happens so quick, and you don't really see anything. Like when they do Hot Lips, she kind of just drops to the ground, so you see her body, but you don't see any sort of the quote unquote good parts.
You couldn't pause it fast enough.
I'm doing good work here.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do important work.
You've been doing good work for a long time.
Right. When will people recognize? But yeah, no, I mean, I think it's a fun, like, anti-detective film, and I think Gould's great in it, and like we should celebrate Elliot Gould more.
Yeah. Really, really should.
And yeah, so I think it'll very quickly, if you like Altman, it'll very quickly become one of your favorites.
Yeah. Easily. Excuse me. Well, on that note, next time we'll do more Altman. We're gonna do some new films.
We got to get back to the gift films.
Dude, no shit, right?
we're off kilter.
Like, the listener has no idea how much stuff has been going on.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It is bonkers.
I got Gilder to frame for it. I have to got my country's 500th celebration. So it's been a lot of things going on, and
you get some stuff.
because you don't have your health, you don't have anything. Christopher Guest again.
So
it is so good. It was really Anyway,
what Altman is next? Is it Thieves Like Us?
Yes,
Okay.
I believe that is Thieves Like Us.
Oh, it's the German version. There's an umlaut over the U. Okay, so we'll be back here.
Maybe with 3 films that I selected for our holiday gift exchange.
Yeah,
who the fuck knows?
Who knows, guys? That's why you keep listening.
Maybe we'll just talk about movies you guys don't even know about.
Or boxing.
Or that too. We'll just go. We're going to go. This podcast is going to turn into a fight-by-fight recreation of Tyson's career.
I have thoughts on Ryan Davis's recent victory and WBC belt, but there's a deep cut maybe for people. All right. Until next time. Thank you all for listening,
and keep screaming. You have been listening to Why Does the Wilhelm Scream with your hosts, Brock and Jason. If you liked today's episode, do us a favor and rate, review, and subscribe in whatever application you use to consume podcasts these days. You can reach us by visiting whydoesthewilhelmscream.com. If you are in the DFW area, we would love to see you at a Fort Worth Film Club event. You can learn more about those and find a full schedule at fortworthfilmclub.com. And you can learn about my foundation and how we are trying to foster the next generation of film lovers at realhousefoundation.org. That's REEL housefoundation.org. Till next time,